Most people don't fail because they don't know what to do. They fail because of the stories that they keep looping in their heads. And these same stories are the stories which are holding them back from taking action in the first place. Let me tell you more about a client of mine because his struggles are exactly the same struggles I keep seeing people falling into. And as a life and business coach, I've worked with entrepreneurs on 7 figures, 6 figures, 5 figures, starting out in the middle of their journey. And what I've noticed from all of my experience is that the stories change. The story, the excuse changes every single time with every single client. But what I'm seeing is I'm seeing someone who has a story. The story's role is an excuse for why they didn't take the action. Let me take you through a couple of those stories so you can imagine. This one client of mine, he didn't take the action for a while because of fear, and he wasn't being able to take the action. And he keeps popping up with stories. One of the story that he came up with that he wants actually to figure out first the vision so he can start to take action in that direction. Which for sure I didn't agree on that with him. It doesn't make sense. But sometimes what you gotta do is you gotta let the person take the action and move forward with their perspective so they make the mistakes themselves with their perception, so they can make the mistake themselves and learn the lesson themselves. Because no matter how good you are at sales and at selling them that they don't need to go through this hard path, through the hardest path to learn the lesson, I can give them the lesson because I've seen so many times. Although some of my clients and some of the clients, some of the people, they want just to go the hard path. So I allowed this client to go through the hard path, and the path he chose is literally that he want to take 2 weeks and just go through visualizations. He just want to visualize every single day. The only habit that he want to commit to every single day is like visualization. We've done that. Now, after 2 weeks, I've noticed that he came up with a new story. And the new story is that he has noticed and summarized out of his experience that visualization need to be realistic. And that was literally the point where I've seen clearly that it didn't work. But I expected it to not work. Visualization is not supposed in the first place to be there to manifest what you want to have in life. Because manifestation means like something exists. So if something exists, then the cause of it should exist, because cause and effect exist in this universe. Now luck might happen, manifestation might work in some different universe. What's even the definition of manifestation? We can discuss that. It's nothing touchable. So going to the touchable things, if you don't take the action and make the cause happen, there are very low chances that the effect happens. Now, serendipities and luck might come. There are small percentages that someone on the street, walking on the street, he wins the lotto, but at the same time he needs to grab the ticket. He need like to pay and buy himself a lotto ticket first. If he didn't buy a lotto ticket, what are the chances that someone is gonna win lotto out of nothing? Unless you're getting these scamming messages, which are telling you that you won a Mercedes or you want something big. Don't click on these links if you got these messages. Anyways, the problem is that he didn't just go through experience and failed at the experience and went the hard path, went the hard way, but even learned the wrong lesson. Because the wrong lesson that he has learned is that he has realized that visualization needs to be realistic. Wait a second, think about it. That doesn't make sense, because visualization in the first place is about the future. So if you want to visualize yourself and visualize the future, you better visualize actually your ideal self. You better visualize the version of you that you want to become, that motivates you, that inspires you. Not the version of you that is realistic. That doesn't make sense, because I'm not sure how much realistic can invoke emotions in you, because it's very important to invoke emotions, to spark some feelings when you are visualizing. And the more intensive you can feel this visualization and the imagination, the more your mind thinks that it is real. But otherwise it's just like a thought. I'm not saying it doesn't help, but I'm saying that if you don't take an action with this visualization, no wonder you will not get the result that you want. right? So the lesson there is, again, a better lesson than the one that he has concluded, is that visualization is useless if your actions stay small. I believe in visualizing. I believe in visualization, in visualizing your ideal self and the future self and the powerful self. But that needs to come with a power that allows you to take massive action and powerful action and big action that align with this character that you are visualizing in the first place. But if that doesn't happen, probabilities are you're just dreaming, right? There are dreamers and there are the action takers. There are go-getters. And that's the question. You want to be this or that? Now, the interesting thing, that's one story. That's one story that he has thought it has been holding him back. That the visualization that he's doing is kind of not working because of what? Because it's not realistic. It's far away. We dig to the second topic that he went through back then also, which is masculinity. He is comparing himself to other friends a lot. And comparison is a killer. If you are comparing yourself to other people in other domains in different situation, I'm not sure how is that benefiting you. So I used myself to compare myself to my old friends. I had a friend of mine from the school time was very successful. But as happened, serendipity again, he was skilled in a certain area, got very popular, very known, and I'm the one literally beside him. And then I was getting ignored and he was getting the attention, the visibility, and so on. And I used to feel that it's unfair. I used to feel that, why is it like that? Like, what's happening? I'm working very hard, I'm a good man, like why I'm not getting that? Why did he get that? And I'm also smart enough. And what I've noticed is that that's life. Life is supposed to be unfair. So comparison doesn't make sense because in any game there are certain rules. So it doesn't make sense to compare the smartness and intelligence of a fish climbing the tree, as Einstein has mentioned. I'm not sure if Einstein has mentioned that or someone else, but anyways, there is this quote that tells you about the intelligence of a fish. You cannot measure the intelligence of a fish with how the fish is climbing the tree. So that's why it doesn't make sense to compare, especially how he has done it himself. Because he was talking about the topic of masculinity. For him, masculinity is responsibility. But if masculinity is responsibility, the definition of responsibility in itself is taking action. Because if you think about a person who's responsible, is a person who's responsible an action taker or a procrastinator? Well, action taker, because if you are procrastinating, that means you are not taking the responsibility to your life. If a president of a certain country is a responsible person, probably he's taking action. That's why people call him responsible, because he's responding. He is making the action happen. Again, we got back to action. You see, the story of visualization, the end conclusion of it is action. Story of manhood, masculinity. Or I was like, oh, you want to be a better man? Yes. So if you want to be a better man, well, at the end of the day, you need to take action, because all of these philosophies about manhood and masculinity, at the end of the day, it will bring you to a level where you will then have a light bulb that a masculine man is a man who takes action and responsible to his life. So if that's the conclusion, and you know deep down that all of these videos and articles and stuff that you're consuming and the rabbit holes that you're going through are going to take you to this conclusion, then you better take action now and save the time that you're wasting there. And on this type of thing, there was a big evidence happening in US the last couple of weeks, probably you know about it. A big influencer was literally murdered, and again, even for that, he went through a rabbit hole and couldn't control himself. Again, it is a way how his mind is trying to not numb him against the fear of what? The fear of taking action. But because taking action is out of the comfort zone, it's not comfortable at all, it's painful. Action is supposed to be painful. Everything which is painful, I don't want to be very polarizing there, but a lot of things which are painful are long-term good for you. Think about getting in shape. Is it painful or not? You might argue that you have fun when you go to the gym. Do you have fun when you go to the gym every single day? Does it feel joyful when you push the bench press? Does it feel joyful when you run for 5 kilometers, or do you start feeling pain somewhere on the road? Probables are you'll feel pain somewhere on the road. So if that's the case, that means that a lot of things which are worth pursuing in life are supposed to be painful. Otherwise, they're not worth pursuing. Because if they are easy, everyone would have them in the first place. And that's why you can think about things from this perspective, that it is supposed to be painful, it is supposed to be hard, because otherwise it's not worth it. You see? That's the way to think. And that's how I was able to program slowly and steady my client with time to adapt this new mindset, the growth mindset. Because he wants the result. He legit, like deep down, he wants the results, he wants everything. But then at the same time, he has the fear of change. At the same time, he fears the uncomfortable stuff. He fears the painful stuff. Now, that's not all, because all of what I'm saying now usually happens in the mind of every single human being. And this is usually the inner narrator, the one who's talking to you. And the question is, how are you going to talk to yourself after this video? Are you going to keep the same narrative, keep the same story that's holding you back from the action that you're supposed to take? Because if you take this action, you'll make the cause happen. And if the cause happens, the effect will happen, because cause effect happens. If you cut the tree will fall. That's gravity law. If you eat the apple will be eaten. If you throw a big stone with a certain power on the glass, it will get broken. Cause and effect. Something has caused the glass to get broken, and that's probably the stone that you've thrown. So you need to cause the effect, and the effect is the goal that you want to achieve in life. With that mindset, for you to be able to hit the stone, you want to believe that you can hit it. So you better program yourself that you can hit it. You can throw it. You can break the glass if you want to. You want to program yourself that you can do it first. That's one of the things that you want to do. Second, any type of distraction, any type of voice, any type of narrator in your head that's trying to stop you and holding you from the goal, assuming that the goal is breaking the glass of the window, what you want to do is that you want to kill this voice, remove this narrator, don't hear it. Just like grab the head of this narrator in your head and put it underwater. And then you'll stay here, you'll hear it, but then it will be that's what you are going to hear. So you can dance with it and then still throw the stone. That's an analogy just for you to understand things. But that's that's masculine. Yeah, that's what successful people do. They know and they understand how psychology works, and they trick themselves, trick their minds, manipulate themselves, manipulate their mind, program themselves and their minds to be able to do the things that they need to do to cause the things so the effect can happen, so they can live the life that they want to live and become the version of themselves that they want to become. But to become the version that you want to become, you better also start taking action even on the narrator. To grab the narrator that's telling you it is hard, telling you that it's not worth it, telling you that to not believe in yourself, that maybe you're not good enough, to grab this narrator and throw it out and not hear it unless not listening it. With time, what will happen is that, let's remove the last sentence. The big takeaway for you from all of this, with all of these different stories that I've told you, and this is just from one single client that I've worked with. I got 160 plus successful clients who I have helped to get to their lives that they want to get to. And from my experience and what I've seen, what I want to tell you here, that fear is the biggest killer of your dreams, the biggest killer of the dreams. It's not lack of knowledge, it's not lack of clarity, and it's not the wrong system. It is fear. Fear keeps you circling in stories instead stepping into action. Without action, there is no cause for the effect to be happening. And take this also with you, which is every imperfect action beats the perfect theory every single time. So this is theory. Now, since this whole video is supposed to give you a small push to take action, I want you to choose one single thing today. One single thing, and take action on it. May I suggest something that you can take action on? Write the story down. The story that's gone in your head that's holding you back from the actions that you need to take in your life to become the person that you want to become, to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. Write the story down that's holding you back. What is it? You want to fix your finance, you want to fix your body, you want to fix your career. Stop hunting the perfect system. Pick one step and take action. Action kills fear. Action kills fear. So drop in the comments what's one thing that you've learned from this video and what's one thing that you are going to take action on. And in the next video, I'm gonna ask you, if you drop a message in the comment, I'm gonna ask you about it. Have you done it or not? Subscribe and see you in the next one.